Capricorn. Oh dear Capricorn. You guys are always trying to fight me. Like, Jesus, what is going on here? You guys have the Judgment card that came out. It's the first card out, so you will be feeling that the heaviest. Okay? Needing for you to come to terms with your past and your present in order to have a more immediate and successful future. You guys have the Eight of Wands that came out in reverse. So some of you guys, you might have like a square in your chart with Saturn and whatever sign may be also influencing Saturn, or vice versa, whatever, what have you, and your margin placement. Because with this Eight of Wands and the number 8 speaking to the sign of Scorpio on a numerological level, there can be something there. Or you can be having some issues, some severe issues with a Scorpio. Somebody that may not want to let you go, you know? This is like, what do they call crazy people? Like, what's the code for that in hospitals? But I'm definitely getting that type of vibe with an unevolved Scorpio or any other water sign as well, or in Aries also, because you guys have the Emperor that came out and the King of Wands that came out after that here. So this person can very well, if you live on the first floor in an apartment complex, be looking through your window at night just to see like what you're doing to make sure nobody else is over. You know, this person will just randomly show up at your job, like very suffocating. You never have any time for yourself. Or maybe you guys are like that, where you're just very territorial and you're always on the lookout to try to see whatever is going on in your person's life, whoever you can have an interest in at this time. And so you needed to check that. Or some of you guys might need to call the authorities, you know, because this is authoritative energy here with the Emperor and the King of Wands. Like, let these people know you're not playing any games. You have the Six of Swords that came out, and the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. And I'm just now realizing that I got straight into this video. Like, I didn't even do an introduction. So Capricorn, we are here. Welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. You know, if you're already familiar with this space, then welcome back. So glad to have you back and to be interacting with your energy again, as I only read for those that I have permission to look into the lives of. But if you are new to this experience and or this space, then welcome in. We're here to embrace you with love and acceptance. So definitely feel free to be who you are wherever you are energetically, positive, negative, or neutral. It really doesn't matter so long as you leave better than you came, okay? Like this video, share this video with other people, but also subscribe should you feel the need to, and turn the bell notification on so you're made aware as soon as I upload a video. I have a different system now for the way that I'm uploading for the zodiac signs. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. But let's get into it, honey. Because really, you guys were just like, okay, like I'm just here to know what it is or what it isn't so I can go ahead and move on with my life, child, because I have other things to do. You have the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck with the Two of Cups and the Three of Swords. Some of you guys, you're trying to figure out with this Judgment energy if a reconciliation is even going to be worth your time. Because again, you have other things that you can be worried about. You have other things that you can definitely be doing. With this Six of Swords energy, I see this as sometimes like a to-do list. Tasks that you know on an instinctual level, very much so, that you have to do, because to not do it and to procrastinate is only going to add stress to your life, and it's unnecessary stress. You know what I mean? So I feel like some of you guys are stuck there with like, okay, like, do I even want to really reach out to this person, or am I letting my temporary feelings get the best of me, right? Am I letting the flashback of that tantric night that we had of just magical, sensational sex get in the way of my head, right? And my logic, and me knowing like, okay, but this person is not of my highest good because it's toxic. All we did was argue, you know. Or if you guys are in a long distance relationship, you know that that's something that you struggle with. Maybe you or the other person struggle with being Loyal, I was going to say struggle with fidelity, same thing. Literally means the same thing. But that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, this person isn't interested in the same things that I am. So it's kind of like we can talk for a minute, but we can't keep the conversation going. There isn't anything interesting about this person outside of the way that I may physically feel about them. Or if you know that you had a tight bond and or a connection and there is that chemistry there and you know that you love them, it's like, do they feel the same? Do they feel the same? Like, is it worth it? Because for some of you guys, you know that they only consider you to be a friend and nothing more, whereas you want to be more than friends, you know? So it's kind of like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm definitely getting that right now with this energy. Some of you guys, you're having to realize that your way of flirting, it comes off as very, if not awkward, then it just doesn't read, you know? And in a very different way, I was having this conversation with my sister yesterday, and she has a child, my oldest niece. Her son is in the sign of Capricorn, and we were talking about how, like, she has a very good sense of humor, but she's not good with standing up for herself when it comes to people that try to bully her. Like, it just doesn't translate. Like, her sense of humor and her sarcasm, it doesn't translate for her to be able to have those sharp comebacks to kind of like debilitate people or paralyze people where they stand. So yeah, I feel like that's the same thing with you guys, but on a romantic level, right? Where it's like you understand love, you know what's required in love, you can be very chivalrous and charming, or maybe that's the thing, like some of you guys, you don't use that enough to your benefit of being more charismatic here. So you always get friend zoned, though maybe in your mind you're thinking that it's panning out in a totally different way, like you feel like you're hitting it off. You know, you feel like you have it in the bag, and then something happens where you're in conversation or you're getting ready to introduce this person to your friends, or you're getting ready to introduce the idea to them, to like ask that person to be your partner. And it's just like, before you even get the chance to do it, right? Before you open your mouth, like right as you're getting ready, they're just like, oh my God, you're such a great friend. And it's like, oh fuck, you know? So that's what it is. Sorry if it feels redundant, but the way that it was coming through, I felt like it had to be said in order for you guys to understand it in that way. So yeah, something's not translating here. Something can be getting lost in translation in a partnership that you may already be in. And things are just a little tough right now because I feel like you guys might be getting into a lot more arguments than normal, or there's a lot more misunderstandings. But what you have to understand here is that there is a law of correspondence, right? When you think about the Hermetic principles, if you're not aware, look into it. I can't force you to do it though, because everybody reaches their spiritual awakening or just level of conscientiousness at a different rate, you know? But that will help you to understand that whatever's happening in the sky, there's a ripple effect and the way that it can be materializing in your physical experience. So Mercury will be stationing retrograde pretty soon. If not this month, then March for sure it will be. So that's to be expected. You guys are not gonna either be actively listening, and that can be a thing that you're having to work on where you need more information, being more of an active listener, and so you miss it because then when they come to you and they're just like, did you hear what I said? And you're just like, or you're just like, yeah, and they're like, okay, well, repeat what it is that I said, and then you can't, and then that starts an argument in and of itself. So just be like, listen, hey, you know, I thought I was listening, but I need you to run that by me one more time. But just understand with the Six of Swords that you need to be more present and give more undivided attention to those that are actually worth that. You know, if somebody's just trying to be a pest in your life with all of this Wands energy and is really just trying to provoke you, then don't give them the time of day, because then they're able to take that power from you and really be able to take your energy, and then you find yourself being more exhausted. You know, you can't really get through the full day without wanting to take a nap, you know? So just be very careful with that. I was speaking with Scorpios, and this Eight of Wands is here, and all of this Wands energy is here, which just reminds me of the planet Mars, and they are ruled by that, right? Mars is their co-ruler, and also the sign of Aries. And the word protection came up. This can be somebody that is very protective, or you guys are just becoming a little bit more overprotective over your space. If you live alone, or if you live with roommates, or just whatever, what have you, it's like you're just a little bit more reserved, or you will be feeling like that at this time. A lot of people are wanting to ask you out, like to get out of the house, like let's go out and let's go to this party, let's go dance, let's go drink, let's go do this, you know, just things that are just more reckless in nature. But I just don't feel like you guys are interested at this time. Like you'd rather just sit and watch or binge watch Netflix or something. Like something else has your attention right now. But for some of you guys, if you are not in a connection right now, and you are at that point where it's like, hey, you know what, I can't do anything about it, I can't do anything to change the fact that this person doesn't love me anymore, or I don't love them anymore, we're just not together right now. I feel like you guys, those of you, that small group, are really in a bachelor mode. So this can go a lot of ways. It just depends on where you're at energetically. But a lot of you guys can be just very promiscuous at this time, but you feel like it's your just due. Like it's something that you feel like you need to get out of your system. Because with Saturnian energy, which is your planet, it can talk about things that are systematic, right? Status quo and all that other stuff. So you know you need to get that out of your system. Some of you guys, you haven't been as sexually experienced as maybe some of the people that you've been, again, connecting with. And so it's maybe awkward, like sex and those types of ordeals are very awkward for you. And so you're wanting to learn with this Knight and Nine of Wands energy, because that is Sagittarius by number, the number 9, right? Higher learning and application. Some of you guys, you just need to listen a little bit more to what it is that your partner enjoys. Listen to what it is that they're saying, or the way that their body is responding also, if you're already engaging in that way. Be very careful if you're a virgin watching this channel. I do set limits for my page. It's not really catered to or tailored to the younger audience. So if you're watching this and you've never had sex before, but that's something of interest, then just do your due diligence as far as studying. Don't just listen to your peer groups. Don't just listen to your parents, because everybody's had different experiences. Some are more traumatic than others in the way that they either gave up their virginity or in the ways that it was involuntarily taken from them. So just do your own research and study. Ask a lot of questions, but also just make sure that you really have a connection with the person that you want to have sex with, because that's not something that you can take back. That wants to be a memory that you have and that you think back on, and it was like, oh my God, like that was the best day. Even if you don't wind up marrying that person, you want it to be a story that you can write home about, right? Or just living out your wildest dream in that way. But just be very safe and protect yourself, because again, there are such things as sexually transmitted infections. And with this Swords energy and the Emperor and the King of Wands, some of you guys might be feeling like you're just untouchable, you know, that only the best of things ever happen to you. But it only takes one mistake, one slip up, for that to not be the case. And unless you're getting tested with a person, you're just having to take their word for it. So just use protection. Use protection until further notice. All right. But as far as anything else, I don't really see anything going on with like business or with your spirituality, other than the fact that your third eye or your crown chakra can be activated. Some of you guys, you might be learning about your chakra centers and ways to activate, or in ways to maintain your vibration. Or you will soon. And so that's going to take you down a very different path, and maybe that's again what's distracting you. But yes, that's what's really coming through for you Capricorns. If this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family. Again, subscribe if you haven't, and book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and your soul until you see me again. Ciao.